Hello and welcome to my first ever video on War Thunder. I'm gonna play Japan, and yeah, well, it's gonna be 9.3 Japan. I think it's a good country to play, especially in the middle-ish tiers. Everything after like 6.3 with these tanks is just getting better and better. Like that's just a rough start, and I think just because of the rough start, it's like a bad image, just like France. It also has like a good middle tier. Top tier is gonna get a little worse again, but like the middle is good. And I'm already talking a lot, maybe too much, but I hope doing more videos like these in the future about more tanks, more uh, BRs, more countries, more nations, naval, air, tanks. I do them all, maybe even helicopters. That's the only thing I don't really intend on playing. And I'd say I will queue in and play around, try and commentate it with, well, good commentation. I just unlocked the DM23 for the Type 16 prototype. I always find it interesting to see how much Germany has shaped the military, like, in the entire world. You know, they made the first assault rifles, the first jet, although I heard of an Italian jet, like a mock-up, existing before that, but I'm quite unsure of that. And they kinda innovated a lot in military, which is pretty interesting. Also, this, I think it's an MBT, it's a Kampfpanzer 70, or like the American XM103, which was, yeah, Kampfpanzer 70, which was an, if you could correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it was a collective research program from Germany and the USA. I don't know if there was another country being part of that, like France or Italy maybe. Well, I don't know, you can correct me. That was quite stupid of. Also, I think the Type 74 has some similarities towards the AMX, the later AMX series and the Leopard 1 series. Just the shape in general. And I don't know, like I've maybe said before, that I don't know where this channel is gonna head, what I'm gonna do with it or on it, but I'm sure that I'll have a fun time playing on it. And I'm not concentrating myself because I should have remembered that guy. And there again, it's a Leopard, which I do think has, like, from the hull, it has some similarities towards the Type 74s. And the general look. And I should be paying more attention to the game, but I don't know what to talk about. Not really the most social person, but I want to try it nevertheless. But I do think to go down like a more historical path, like maybe doing historical lineups or just talking about researching about the tanks and like the time the tanks were used in the war, the conflict, maybe even just how they started to exist, because there's a lot of prototypes that, well, I'm using one right now, that I'd say is interesting to learn about. And I'm once again overcommitting. Might actually do a serve as well, but well, it's my first ever video. I doubt anyone would join or be interested in it or that. I can't shoot through that. That was stupid. I can only shoot through the cargo. How? Oh my god. He should have aimed. I don't know what just happened. Well, I got lucky there, I guess. I'm not the most experienced in the game either. I got like 1.4k hours, so some would say I'm rather new, but it's still a game that is my passion, so to speak. And I wouldn't mind sharing the interests that I have for militaries around the world and just the game in general. And I got through a lot of the tech trees to like the middle, except I think Israel, Italy, China, all the smaller ones. But the bigger ones I got like at least to 6 point the forbidden numerals. And yes, I do CAS sometimes, because I think I get the hate that CAS usually receives if you like revenge kill someone or just in general, but I also think it's like a good addition to the game, because a lot of planes, they're just like made for like ground pounding. Well, they're made for CAS, and I think it's more satisfying to use it against a person than some AI that just drives in a straight line, in a set line on the road. And it of course also gives SPAs a reason to exist. Well, that's kinda embarrassing. I'm not gonna comment further on that. But yeah. I should learn how to cut videos. I really should. Because now you're gonna have to wait and watch me queue into the second game, which luckily went fast. And watch me die these pointless deaths with nearly zero, well, that was 0 kills. But I do hope we get down to this round, because we just didn't. It doesn't seem like we're having one right now either. No, it's 9.7. But I want to, like I said, kind of do more historic stuff. That might be a little more interesting than just seeing a random person play a game. Sometimes play it terribly. Maybe that's also enjoyable. And it's not really late at night, but it's the evening, late in the evening, and I can't really concentrate. But I'm not a fan of excuses, but my attention isn't the best at the moment. Oh, that was a lucky shot. Oh no, I need to say that was skill, pure skill, of course, because I'm the best. I definitely don't have a big ego. No. I am kind of worried that the Puma will just repair his damages and shoot me up from that distance because I'm a light tank. Kinda like that. Ah. I do need to grind the F84 a little bit. So I'll just spawn in with that one. I do hope my voice is loud enough to be understood properly, because last time I recorded, like tried recording, that was like 2 times. One time I was very quiet. The second time, you had me doubled, and that was horrible, nearly like torture. Can I even say torture? Probably can. Not really accustomed to the guidelines or what to say, when to say. I'll probably forget it as well. Well, I'm just human. I do think it's funny how Gaijin just in general went more into the anime approach instead of like, you know, trying to be a serious game, but it's something good as well. Gives the game character. Some might say. Others might say it makes it worse. The map Poland, I like it when it's small. Like this size just doesn't really fit. In general, I don't like maps that are sized over the top. Just like naval, like always, I always get those circle maps. I do think we need like a little bit of a reef, at least in front of us, so we can't really see the enemy at the start of the game and shoot them, because that's like, it gets boring fast. It doesn't have like a good repeatability because it's like every map's the same. Here, if I'm bored, I can still like have the luck or the patience to get into another map, have some fun, and then naval it's just like, hey, you want a circle? Here you have one. I think I'm dead anyway. Never mind. Ah, nothing I could do really. Maybe shoot more flares. But it's also the part of CAS. You know, you get countered pretty easily by AA if you don't really know what you're doing, or you can't really do anything against it. And it's like this BR where like a lot of planes, even the higher ranking ones than the F84, just straight up don't have flares, like the F104 Starfighter for the Japanese at like 10.3, I think it is. It just doesn't have flares. And it's built like a brick, so if there's one missile that's just as fast as you are, you're dead. Or like you slow down. And then they put it at like 10.3. I stood in front of a Starfighter once. It's a nice plane to look at. Must have been terrifying to fly. Imagine getting turbulence in that thing. Would you even get turbulence in that thing is my other question. Oh, come on. Just J out already. That's also the problem with big maps, you just... Well, I'm not really against sniping, it's fun, but you get shot out of nowhere most of the time with these flat maps. But to be honest, he did something a little silly, just driving over the plains, but to be honest, there's nothing you can really do. Oh, and I also play Enlisted from time to time, so another Gaijin game. I think Enlisted is a fun game that gets like too little attention because it has a lot to offer that other games just simply don't have. Like the weapons, the systems, just in general. I mean, where else can you really be the commander of a squad of AI soldiers that can not hit for shit? Of course he gets killed the second I'm dead. I do hope you can't hear my swallowing or like my sounds, because my mic can be a little sensitive, and I didn't really know how to change that in the settings for OBS, because I'm using OBS, where otherwise you can just not hear me. So for the first time, for the first video, you gotta live with it. Or I gotta live with it, I don't know. And I would appreciate feedback as well, because you know, it's the first time I'm doing this. And I don't really know what I'm doing, I just watched other people do it and I was like, I can do that. I probably can't, but it's just for fun. It can't hurt anyone, can it? Sure hope not. I do think commander sites are something nice and interesting that I see barely anyone using. I kind of get why, because you know, it limits your vision. Like you can also just do this, but you got like for some vehicles like this one, the Type 74F, you got way more zoom, which is something good, I'd say, especially for these maps. But you still have to like know how to aim with these. Which there wasn't never really a tutorial, I think, at least, on like how to aim with these things. Maybe I should do one. I say this now, maybe I miss my next shot. Probably will. And most tanks with this side or these sides that are usable have rangefinders nonetheless, which this one I haven't researched it yet, but it does have them. I'm standing quite in the open. stupid. Oh, I need a sip of water, but I don't have any water with me. A terrible feeling. I'm so sorry if I ever blinded someone by doing that, but I'm dead. Should have paid more attention. Man, they're capturing our objectives. Well, as you can see, tanks to get rangefinders, which now you can use this side effectively and not just guessing. Because I think this is like more of a guessing side. And you will have to get used to it if you don't have a rangefinder. I'm a person of many interests. I can, I don't know, yeah. I do some art sometimes, but it looks bad sometimes. Sometimes it looks good, sometimes horrible. But it looks like the round's over. So that's a GG. It was a nice round. And a nice lineup. And I'd say that's it for my first ever video on War Thunder. Not the last, I hope so at least. And well, I hope for some good advice and some comments at least. So that was it. Have a good day.